Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ariel and I make videos about books. So today I have a short and sweet video about my book goals for 2023. We're already a month in and I've been kind of compiling this list of goals that I want to keep in mind as I read this year. And we're gonna try to follow them as best as we can. So let's get into them. So the first is just my generic book reading goal, which I'm keeping at 100 because I don't want to rush myself. I don't want to feel like I have to read 150 books because I read 112 I think last year, and so I have to one up that. I think 100 books is a solid number, and if I surpass that then I'll feel nice and happy. So I think keeping it kind of low is better than making it super high. So 100 books we'll get to. That kind of ties in with my next goal, which is to read 75 books that are currently on my TBR, like my physical TBR. 75 books that I own. Yeah. I just posted a video of all of the books that I haven't read, and there's a lot of them. So this should take out a big chunk of it, which is what we want. So that means that I can only really buy 25 of new release books, and I think that's accomplishable. I hopefully want to read more than 75 books on my physical TBR, but that's the standard we're setting. Next, kind of along the same lines as well. I mean, they're all book goals, so they all align in a way, but it's to practice slow reading. Now, this is a term that I don't know if I came up with, or it's a term, or maybe it's just not even a term at all, but I'm thinking of it like quality over quantity. I read a lot of books last year, but I hated a lot of them because I was kind of in a romance reading cycle where I just kept digesting romances one after the other. I read at least 2 a week, and none of them satisfied me. So I want to take longer in reading my books, not be afraid of reading one book a week, and focus on is this a book that I genuinely want to read, or is it a book that I am, just reading because other people are reading? That's kind of a separate book goal, and now I'm kind of just rambling, but yes, to not shame myself for not reading fast enough, I guess, and to appreciate reading slow, digesting the words, highlighting, annotating. And obviously that's kind of reserved for certain genres like classics, where you're obviously not gonna read that as fast as you would a romance book, or at least I don't. And so for when I read those, I need to keep in mind that it will be at a different pace than a romance book, and that's okay. Speaking of classics, another goal is to read 2 classics a month. I have a bunch of classics. I own a bunch because I just buy them from the thrift store for $1 or $2, and they just accumulate on my shelves. So I want to read some of those, and I really fell out of classics last year, but I really do enjoy reading them. I think just it gives me this special feeling of humanity really never changes, and it's crazy. The things that they complain about in a Jane Austen or Charlotte Bronte novel, we still complain about to this day. And just like the humor, like it's obviously different, but when you like laugh at a classic, it feels so good because you're like, this joke stood the test of time. I don't know. There's just this like magic of reading classics that I want to get back into. It will take more brain power, but I think I want to use my brain more this year. And right now I've stuck with that. I've read like 2 classics and I'm on my 3rd this month. So we're doing pretty good. Think I might fall off in the summertime, but hopefully not, because I always just like want romances at that time. But we'll see. My next goal, I started at the end of 2022 and I want to bring it in to the new year. And that is to read an Agatha Christie novel a month, every month. Yeah. One. She has so many novels and I would like to one day be like, I have read all of them because I do enjoy them. And yeah, right now I've only read 2. We're on the 3rd and I just want to keep doing that for the rest of the year. And I still won't be done with the Poirot series if I keep at that pace by the end of the year because there's so many. But you know, eventually we'll be done with them and then we'll reread them. Next goal is to not be as influenced by what other people are reading. I watch a lot of BookTube. I love book content. I like making book content. I just like talking about books and hearing people talk about books. And I love that. That's great. I found so many great books through BookTube. But I want to start like looking at the book and being like, do you actually want to read this? Does this interest you? Or are you just doing it because people are telling you to read it? And be more discerning with what I consume. Because you really, like 100 books isn't a lot with how many books there are in the world. So I have to be more choosy. Speaking of that, I want to DNF books more often. I never DNF books, do not finish. I always just read them through. Even if I hate it, I will just push through. And I need to stop doing that. Especially my incentive back in the day was like, oh, well, I finish it and then I can put it on my shelf and I can be like, look at all these books that I finished. But now that I am a much more avid reader, I find myself unhauling books more often because I only want on my shelves the books that I really love, and I don't have the space for books that I don't love. So there's no problem in DNFing it because I'm gonna get rid of the book anyways. And I know 100 books is easy for me to reach, so I don't have to power through a bad book just to reach that goal in the end. And then I want to branch out more to read poetry, short stories, and nonfiction. Those are 3 categories that I like never read. And I don't want to read a lot of those because I don't have like a goal to read a bunch of them, but I would like to read some. So that. And then final goal is to use the library more. I am a huge like cover buy person, and if I see a cute cover, I will want to snatch it up without knowing a thing about it. But now I have a library card and it's so easy to use the library, and especially with the online world, you can get books through Libby so easily. So I want to start reading a book through the library, and then if I like it partially through, then I'll buy the copy of it or afterwards, because I just think that is way way smarter financially for me, and I need to use it because libraries exist and I should be using them. So those are my little book goals. Short, sweet little goals. Let me know if you have any book goals. And yeah, thank you for watching and have a good rest of your day. And this is my cat. He came over to say hello. Say hi, Venus. All right, bye.